Hi guys, how are you all doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to those of you who are going to sleep. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. The returning subscribers, you're amazing. The current subscribers, you're something else. Thank you. Special shouts go out to One Spice, the shop near One Spice in Owino, which sells onions. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Thank you so much. There are several people that have been watching and saying I've never mentioned them. I'm trying to remember all of you so that I can mention people in KCB Bank in Endeavour. Thank you so much for subscribing. Today I'm going to be making sombe. Yes, it's a dish that is normally made from in Congo, West Africa, those parts of Nigeria. Uganda, we are a bit reserved on these menus. India, special shouts to people watching in India. Yes, I'm going to be making sombe, Congolese style, and here are some of the ingredients that we are going to be using to make sombe. So for those of you who have never heard of sombe, look out for, check out my video in the archives, how I prepared the sombe, and I promise to make a sauce out of it. Ugandans, you love this one because I know it's new to our menus. And if you want, you can add it because cassava leaves are very nutritious, rich in calcium, in zinc, in vitamins and minerals. I mean, we have actually been robbed of the fact that we've never enjoyed cassava leaves, when all this while they are tasty, they are nutritious, and a nice twist to our menus. So join me and see the ingredients that are going to help me make sombe, or what some people call ponga. Come and see that. Now, one of the ingredients we are going to use is beef. I chopped up mine into some slices, green pepper, or what we call bell peppers, onions, the purple ones, spring onions, garlic. I've got spices here, beef masala, black pepper, rosemary, and garlic powder. I've also got here some curry powder, paprika. This one is also sea salt. In Uganda we call it kisula. For those of you who are wondering what sea salt is, it's kisula in Uganda, but it's sea salt. And this is Pondu spice. This is specifically for the making of sombe, and paprika. I've also got my pondu that I made earlier. You will look out in the video and see how I made it. Some nuts. This is coconut oil. We are going to be using it, and some bit of vegetable oil as well, plus some salt to taste. Now, before we go any further, my water has been boiling, preparing for this sombe to go in. So the first thing you do is heat up your pan, put on water, and then put the sombe in the water like I'm going to be doing. My water has been boiling. Now it's time for me to take it, open it up, and then put my sombe. Now I'm putting in the pondu, or what we call sombe. When this dish is ready, that's when you call it sombe. But before, it's called pondu because these are the cassava leaves. And in case you're wondering what in the world is that and how did she get it, you look out for check out my video. You'll see how I made this, and then you'll be able to make it as well and add it to your menu. People in India have always been eating these leaves, so us Ugandans, this is not one of those dishes we have been going for, but I am hoping from today we can add it to our menus. Those of you who don't have it or cannot be in position to make it, go ahead and look it out in the supermarkets. It should be there, and then you can use it to make this sauce. Now what I'm trying to do is mix it up in water. My water was boiling, and I'll let them boil for some time, but in the meantime I'm going to add my sea salt. This will help cook it faster. If you're wondering which supermarket am I talking about in Uganda, those of you who are in Uganda, you won't likely find it in supermarkets, but you'll find it in the marketplaces, because now we have the Congolese that have come in and the Nigerians that are in our country. You find that these products have been brought in the marketplaces. So you can go to any market if you don't have access to Cassava, and you can go ahead and buy them from them. They are very cheap, and yet they'll give you delicious meals. So I'm going to cover for now for about maybe 20 minutes as I work on my other ingredients. Now, as my sombe is cooking, I'm trying to cut up the vegetables that I'm going to work with to help spice up sombe. So you take out you clean your green peppers any way you would normally handle them. I'm just removing the middle bit so that I can work with the bell peppers. It doesn't matter what you're working with first, as long as you have your ingredients set for working. Now I'm cutting up my bell peppers that I'm going to later on use with my sombe. Guys, this can be made spicy, and it turns out tasty and enjoyable, despite the fact that you know what it is. It's cassava leaves. Now I'm also chopping up my onions. All these I'm going to introduce to my sombe, or pondu for some. But all of us who are just tuning in, this is cassava leaves that we are working with today and making a sauce out of it that will be delicious, nutritious, and appetizing at the same time. So if you're going to make your sombe, it is good that you also, while it's cooking, you prepare what you're going to have it with as well, because it takes some time. And because it takes time, you can go ahead and prepare the food that you will serve your sombe with. I'm going to be having mine with rice, but you can go ahead and have it with ugali, have it with mashed potatoes, green bananas, or what we call matoke in Uganda. You can have it with cassava. You can have it with steamed sweet potatoes. Anything really that normally requires a sauce can go very well with sombe. It is a filling dish. So prepare to be filled if you're hungry, and just enjoy. Now I've chopped up also my garlic. I'm going to use garlic powder, but I'll also use garlic cloves. Now my meat has been sitting, waiting patiently for its turn with the sombe. So what I'm going to do now is marinate it with some bit of garlic. I'm going to put garlic over it, but I'll also add garlic at the later stage in my sombe. I'm going to put garlic and salt. This will help it taste and also tenderize it. Remember when I was cooking my pondu, I used sea salt. So when you're tenderizing your meat or marinating it, don't go crazy with salt, because then it may be too salty and it's not enjoyable that way. One thing that we don't put in sombe normally is tomatoes. So in case you're wondering why is it there are no tomatoes in here, It's because they are not called for. Really, you will not be able to see any red. That is why we are not using colorful things, because it's not about color with sombe. The green will overlap everything and you will not be able to see other colors. So we stick to those that are neutral, that will add to the aromas. Now my meat is going to stay marinating and tenderizing with the salt and garlic. Now I've finished cutting the garlic. I'm going to cut the spring onions, but first I wash my hands. Now after like 15 minutes of the sombe boiling by itself, I'm going to introduce the meat. The meat also has some salt and garlic, and these will do their thing for about 30 minutes. Right now I'm just mixing to allow them to mix very well, and then I'll let them sit for 30 minutes while they are cooking, as I continue with the cutting up of my other ingredients. Now I'm going to add all the other ingredients so that they can cook together. Sombe is normally not fried, it is cooked all in one go. So I'm putting garlic now and onions. I'm also going to put the bell peppers, or what we call green peppers, and the spring onions. This is when we go all out, except for the guineas that we talked about. We'll add them at a later stage. Now I'm adding also the paprika, the Pondu mixture, the curry powder, beef masala, black pepper, rosemary. I'm going all in. Now I'm also going to add my coconut oil, and I'll also add vegetable oil as well. Coconut oil, guys, is not like the oil we know, so you really need to be generous, so generous with it, because it will help break down all that is in the sombe. If you're wondering where did I get the coconut oil, in the markets, you can get it in Owino market. Coconut oil is there among the Congolese. That section where the Congolese are is where you're likely to find sombe and the coconut oil. So if you're ever in Uganda and you want to try cooking sombe, Owino is the place, and you'd be able to get all the ingredients that you need to make the coconut, the sombe. Now I'm going to mix this all together, and then I'll let it sit, but I'm yet to add some vegetable oil, because coconut oil is not like our oil. It's not like vegetable oil. It will disappear, and whatever will be left will be, because at the end of the day we are going to cook this for long, guys, until you know the meat is ready and your sombe is ready. So this is going to cook for about an hour on low heat. You need to test and see if the salt is enough, and if it is not, then you add more salt. Like mine needs some salt, but because it's all going to dry up, it's going to dry up until sombe is not normally runny, it's normally thick. So I'll let it sit on low heat and cook until the water has reduced. I'll show you, then that is when we'll be adding the guineas, and you'll see how we do it from there. So now I'm going to add the guineas and then reduce the heat. On really low heat, I'll let it sit and continue cooking for about an hour, but at low heat, guys. So I'm just sprinkling all over the guineas. And then, because for those of you who know how to prepare guinea sauce, guineas are prepared on low heat. So I've got to move this pot from high heat to really low heat so that they can cook slowly. Until all this has gone down and there's not as much sauce as you see in here. This sombe has a long way to go. The meat has got to be so soft, and the guineas have got to also be ready and all the acids removed. So now I'm going to reduce the heat, cover, and let it cook on low heat. Now guys, our sombe is ready for us to serve. It has been cooking on low heat for about an hour or 45 minutes, say, and this is what we have come up with. Guys, the meat in here is tender, so tender you would not believe how tender it is, and it's tasty, and the aromas from all the garlic, the onions, and the different spices that we have used. I can't wait to serve. Now I'm going to plate and show you how my sombe will look. I'm going to serve this with rice. You can go ahead and serve it with anything else. I'm using rice, so you're going to see how I'll plate mine. Now my rice is on the plate already. I'm just going to add my sombe and serve. It's normally this thick. It is supposed to be that thick, and as you can see, all the oil is lost simply because the coconut oil is not one that makes a cream. So you have to use a bit of olive oil or vegetable oil or sunflower oil that you use in addition to the coconut oil. Otherwise, this is how I'll plate my sombe, and I'll put a bit of tomatoes on there. I'll put some bit of tomatoes on the sides to garnish and just enjoy, and some salt to taste, and that would be my meal of sombe. I'm just going to put a pinch of salt on the tomatoes so that it can taste. And because the sombe is green, I'm adding a bit of red just to add some color. Otherwise, there are enough pieces of meat in there for me to enjoy. And guys, goodness only. So until next time, thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for telling friends, and those of you who are dropping by for the first time. Please remember, subscription is free. Go ahead and subscribe, and you'll be able to get notification as and when new videos drop in, and you'll be able to check out the old videos that we have made in the past and just enjoy making them meals at home. Until next time, bye bye and God bless.